iPhone 15 Pro Max, I'm going to show you how to remove the back glass of this device, disassemble the back glass, which is going to let you know how to replace the back glass in the event yours is broken. The first thing was to remove the two screws at the bottom of the device. Then I started hitting the back glass of the device in a circular motion for 1 minute and 4 seconds, and the heat gun was at the highest temperature with the air output at 50%. So I did spend a lot of time at the bottom of the device since that's the place where I'm going to open the device first. So use a suction cup and attach it to the back of the device. You will need to keep pulling until you see the double-sided tape. Then you insert the guitar pick in order to separate completely the back glass from the frame of the device. So let's say if this device had a broken back glass, I can go faster, but there is a cable on the back of the device that is attached to the motherboard that you do not want to damage. If you damage that cable, you will have to purchase that part, or simply you will have to use your device without wireless charging, external microphone, and the flashlight. So after saying that, while you move around with the guitar pick after hitting the device, make sure that you insert only the tip of the guitar pick so that the guitar pick does not get too far inside the device and struck any of the components that are close to the edge of the back glass. The bottom portion of the back glass is completely separated from the body of the device, so I inserted one of my plastic tools in order to have a placeholder, keeping the back glass separated from the frame of the device. So the part where you can struck any component inside the device is this one. Near the volume buttons and the action button, there is a cable. So while doing that part of the device, insert the guitar pick slightly inside, not far inside, so that you do not touch that cable. You will need to do the same thing near the cameras so that you do not strike any of the camera modules. For a back glass replacement, the main thing to keep in mind is the cable coming from the motherboard and going to the back glass. You need that cable to be good without any damage while you work on your device. So I removed all the screws holding the retaining plates on the back of the motherboard. After removing those, I simply lifted all the retaining plate and removed them. So one thing to note is the small latches that are on the retaining plate, making them a little bit difficult to remove, not just as you pull and it gets removed. So right now, everything on the motherboard is exposed and I can simply start disconnecting flex cables. The first thing to disconnect is the battery flex cable. It is at the bottom. Once that has been disconnected, there is no power flowing to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Then I can start disconnecting the cable coming from the back glass. The battery cable should be disconnected with your finger or a plastic tool. Then the other cables can be disconnected with a metal tool or again plastic tools or your finger. Next, I'm going to remove the component on the back glass, showing you how to do it, and in the event you need to replace yours, you simply have to remove them and transfer it to the new back glass. So the video with the battery replacement on this device is already up on the channel. It is doable, but it takes a lot of time and effort in order to have primary access to the battery and start pulling the pull tabs on the back of the battery. So here, if any of these cables get any damage, you will have to replace the whole thing, since this is one big piece with multiple components attached on it. In order to transfer this original component onto the new back glass, you will need to remove the two screws having the retaining plate on the external microphone and on the flashlight. After you remove those retaining plates, you can start working in removing those components, the whole component assembly out of the back glass of this device. So for this, I'm going to start at the top with the flashlight, remove it, go down to the external microphone, then do the wireless charging, the wireless coil at last. In order to do that, you need to have constant heat going through the back of the iPhone 16 Pro Max back glass. Next, like I said, I will start with the flashlight. For the flashlight, I will use one of my tools. It can be anything pointy that can push the flashlight on the inside of the back glass. Once you can see the flashlight on the other side of the back glass, you need to cover the hole for the flashlight and keep hitting that area. The area with the flashlight and the cable going from the flashlight going down. So next, you can use a tweezer in order to hold the flashlight and that small cable and start pulling slowly and without too much force so that you do not damage anything. So I have the heat gun at 600 Fahrenheit. This is what I'm comfortable with and I'm going to take my time in doing this. You may increase the temperature on the heat gun, but for that also you will need to go faster in removing the whole assembly on the back glass. So for this one, the cable wrap around the hole for the screw. So you need to lift the cable slightly after you hit that area. Then you use one of your tools in order to start pulling and lifting the external microphone from the spot where it is glued. So this is why I am staying at 600 Fahrenheit and taking my time to do this. You do not want to damage anything or burn any inches of this cable. If it got burned or damaged, you will have to replace the whole thing. Next, you will have to do part pairing with your iPhone, and if the part is not original, it might not pair to your iPhone motherboard. The new part might work as normal without any issues, but if the quality of the microphone on the new part is not the same as the original, you might have some issues recording videos with audio. So when you see this, you know that it is time to stop pulling anything at the top of the back glass and start working at the bottom, going to the wireless coil. So here I'm still using 600 Fahrenheit and I just use my blade in order to lift a small part of the heatsink, and then I started pulling all the way to the wireless coil. So it is important to keep the heat gun running and start pulling the heatsink all the way to the limit of the wireless coil. Once you have everything at that area, you can start pulling around the wireless coil so that you remove everything in one piece. With the proper temperature on the back glass, you will be able to remove everything without any issues like I just did it. So this is the part that you need to remove and transfer onto the new back glass. Make sure that the cables on the outer edge of the wireless coil, the two cables that you see lifted, are placed in place before you put the whole thing on the new back glass. Since the part was removed with the heatsink attached, it is very easy to put everything back because the heatsink has double-sided tape on the back. So this is why I was able to place the black plastic around the wireless coil, then push the two wires on the outer edge of the wireless coil, have everything in place. And also I have to mention that the design on the back glass for the 16 Pro Max is different from the 15 Pro Max. On the 16 Pro Max, there is this metal shield around the whole back glass, from top to bottom. On the 15 Pro Max, the metal was only around the camera's area, so if the back glass were to break, it will break really badly, and also the component attached to the back glass might get damaged very easily. Having the metal piece from top to bottom of the back glass is going to increase the durability of the back glass and have less chance for the component attached to the back glass to get broken in the event your back glass got broken. On a new back glass, you simply need to start with the flashlight. Attach the flashlight to the new back glass. From top to bottom, you attach the external microphone and you finish with the wireless coil and all the graphite tape around the wireless coil. So after that, if you go inside setting, you will see that you need to pair the new component to your device if it is original, and it is going to pair and say that it got paired on that day. But if the part is not original, it might not pair to your iPhone. It might stay just like that on your device with the notifications saying that the part is not genuine. So everything is working, flashlight, external microphone and wireless charging. So I attached all the retaining plate on the motherboard and added all the screws. Before closing, I blew some air on the camera modules to make sure that there is no dust on the camera lenses. Then I added B7000 around the device. This is going to help me seal the device again. Now it is time for the final inspection of the internals of this iPhone 16 Pro Max. Everything seems to be in place and in the right condition. I closed the back glass starting with the top of the device, then the bottom. Then I started to apply pressure on the sides to make sure that everything is sticking together. Then to finish, I started to add some retaining clamps that are going to apply constant pressure to this back glass and the frame of the device. After adding the screws and then waiting for 20 to 40 minutes, then I removed all the repair clamps and I can see spill B7000 that blended with the black tape that Apple used. And this is not an issue. You simply need to rub on these B7000 on the back of the device for it to disappear. So at the time of making this video, there were no double-sided tape available online for the 16 Pro Max. This device is barely new, so this is why I use B7000, and here's the final result after using the device for a couple of days. You can see all the spilled B7000 are gone. The back glass looks like new. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like and share, and I will see you on my next video.